Hey everybody, welcome to Sid's Little Corner of the Internet. We've got a DC Multiverse review coming your way. This time around we're going to be taking a look at the DC Multiverse, the Joker Titan. So this was the Joker as we saw him in the grand finale of the Batman Arkham Asylum video game. I do have a little bit of a different setup today. I just want to address that real quick. We are actually, as a family, on vacation, so everything I'm doing is portable and improvised. So apologies ahead of time if this isn't the highest quality review that we put out, but I'm still going to try to bring you some good content here. But what we'll do before we get into this guy is we'll take a look at the packaging, and I'm using a small light box and the packaging is huge, so again, bear with me here if it's not the highest quality that we typically put out. But let's go ahead and get into that packaging. Alright, so I'm going to do my best here to try to give you the entire view of the packaging, but it's not the easiest thing to do here being portable. But we're going to start right up here at the top. You have DC Multiverse. If I can get that down a little bit. There we go. DC Multiverse, and then you have all that clear packaging right there. And then down here you have the Joker Titan. And then if we turn this off to its side, you have the Joker Titan DC Multiverse logo up here. And then down low, just McFarlane Toys logo. On the back, you do get that product shot. So it's a really cool looking Joker. He has 22 moving parts, the Joker Titan. And then down here you have join us on Facebook, Twitter, so on and so forth. Collector's card is in English only. And then you have the Joker Titan on this side. And then on the bottom, let's go, try not to ruin my setup here. You just have some additional information down there at the bottom. So that is it for the packaging, thank goodness, because it is huge. So now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll bring in the Joker himself and take a look at him from there. Here he is, the clown prince of crime himself, Gotham's very own Joker, and this is in his Titan mode after he took that Bane injection in the Arkham Asylum video game. It's been a few years since I've played that, but man, I'll tell you what, that was a pretty hard level. But once you got the pattern down, it wasn't too bad. A couple of things about this figure. He looks incredible, but he does have some inherent stability problems. He's just got a lot of mass going on up here, and at least on my copy, the ankles are a little loose, so I have some serious balance issues with this guy. But your best bet is to kind of have him in a crouching mode like this. I have very little success trying to get this guy straightened completely up to have him standing up. Not to mention he's got a huge hunch in his back anyway, so this makes more sense as it stands. But let's go ahead and we'll take a look at the details on this guy, and we're going to start right up here with that head sculpt. I'm going to turn his head a little bit here. Like I say, apologies for the setup here. We're on holiday, so I am working with what I have, and might get a little shaky because this is not my normal review station. So you do have that very ugly face, and he does look like he's ready to cause some trouble. And then down here you have all this sculpt work and paint work going on, which looks really good. So those abs, the pecs, all that is working. He does have his Incredible Hulk pants on, so that's always a relief because nobody wants to see what's going on under there. And then coming down to those legs, good sculpt work all the way around. As I stated, this guy just looks amazing. He is a cool figure to behold. I just wish he was a little more stable. So you can see the huge hunch in his back right there, and just how thick he is overall compared to those skinny little ankles. So he is a little on the difficult side when it comes to posing, and as a matter of fact, I may have some difficulties here, and I might have to put in a quick edit to get him balanced again once we're finished taking a look at this guy. But you can see these nice spikes coming out of his back, and you've got that green, and then he does have that sweet mohawk. And then, yeah, somebody needs a pedicure for sure. He does, thank goodness, have little stands under here, so that does help with the balance. And we, in further portions of this review, I'll probably take advantage of those. Alright, so yeah, looks good. Now, as far as the articulation itself goes, alright guys, sorry about that edit. As I mentioned, we're on holiday. I'm working with smaller equipment, mobile equipment, and just trying to work through the kinks there. So let's go ahead and try to get into that articulation and take a look here. And we'll start with that head. So bringing that head down to where you can actually see it, you can get a decent amount of up, which is helpful because of his hunch if you want to put him on all fours, and then you get a good amount of down, and then you can get the side to side on that as well, and then turn that head a few degrees either direction. And then on the shoulders, you do get a butterfly joint, so you can go a few degrees back, a few degrees forward, and every little bit helps right there. And then the shoulder itself, you can bring that arm out or up that far, and you can go all the way around with it if you choose to do so. And then you do have double jointed elbows, so nice deep elbow bend right there, which is really nice. Nothing at the bicep as far as I can tell, but then down here at the wrist you do get wrist rotation, so you can take that all the way around, and that's unnatural. And you can bring those out that far, you can bring them in that far, and then angle them, whatever you want to do. Like if he wants to face palm himself a la Picard style, you certainly can do that. And then you also have at the abs over here, you've got a little bit of up and a little bit of down, so you do have some motion there. And then you've got some ab twist, might be a little bit easier to show it back here. So you do get a little bit of ab twist on that back, so you can go a few degrees either way. And then right here at the waist, you also have that waist rotation, and then you can give him a nice deep crunch and then straighten him out about that far. All right, sorry for the bump. At the legs, you can get about that much of a split, and then kicking forward, it's actually pretty significant for a figure this size. Kicking backward, not quite as much. And then you get thigh rotation, and then at the knees you get double jointed knees. There you go, double jointed knees, so you get a nice deep knee bend there. And then down here at the ankle, you bring the foot forward that far, bring it back that far, and then you just have this multi-joint right here where you can twist it around and pretty much take it wherever you need it to. And then you have those McFarlane toe joints. All right, so that is the details and the articulation. I would say overall the articulation is pretty well done on this figure. It's just because of his size, because of his mass, and because of those ankles that are a little too loose, the balance, there we go, put him on his knees, hiding his face. The balance is an issue here. So unless you're using the pads that came with him that you put on his feet, if you're using those, you'll probably be able to get into some good poses. But if you're just going to try to go without those support pads at the bottom, you're probably going to run into a few challenges there. So what we'll do now is we'll just bring in a couple. I don't have obviously the entire collection of items with me since we're on holiday, but we'll bring in a few other figures and we'll take a look at him in comparison. So for our first comparison here, you can see just how big that Joker Titan figure is, because he's standing next to the Obi-Wan Kenobi Black Series 6-inch figure. So you can see he just absolutely towers over him, just to give you a sense of scale there. And for our second / final comparison, here you see that Titan Joker next to the Studio Series 86 Wreck-Gar. And you can see that even compared to a Voyager class Transformer, this guy is absolutely enormous. And I gotta say, I think that would be a fun fight to watch though between the two of these guys. Alright, that's going to do it for the comparisons. Let's go ahead and get into those final thoughts. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk real briefly about those final thoughts on the DC Multiverse Titan Joker. I like the figure, but I do find him a little bit top heavy, and I'm a little disappointed in the looseness of those ankles. But I think overall the shelf presence on this guy is incredible. He's a really cool figure to add to your collection. Overall aesthetic, everything looks good on this guy. I mean, the paint apps are done really well. The sculpt work is fantastic on this guy. No major complaints whatsoever there. I think he looks great. Articulation, I would have liked to have had some bicep rotation there. I'm a little disappointed about the lack of bicep rotation, but everything else that you get, you're going to be able to manipulate quite a bit. Wish list item would have been maybe a few more degrees in that butterfly joint for those shoulders. Would have helped get him in some decent poses. And also, frankly, his hands are big enough that if we could have at least had articulated thumbs, and even if all the fingers moved as one, would have been nice to have some joints there as well. But for the most part, the articulation is done really well. He doesn't have any accessories. He is the accessory. So, you know, a figure, for those of you who played that video game, you know that really he's just throwing whatever he can find and using his bare hands to create some havoc. So there's no accessories with him, nor would I have expected any. Overall quality is okay on this guy. I go back to those ankles. When you've got a figure this big and you've got that much mass, and you know in the design phase that he's going to be top heavy, you need to reinforce those ankles. You need to do something a little stronger than what they've done here. Now, the advantage is the fact that you can get him down on all fours and kind of give him that primal look, or that squatting look, which helps with the stability overall. But the ankles are a huge disappointment here, but everything else is done really well. Paint is done well. He doesn't have any other flaws that I can find, so I think overall quality is pretty good. And as far as the overall value goes, we picked this guy up at a Target for $40 US, and I think that's all right. You know, I obviously I would like to always pay less than what I have to, but $40 for this figure, for what you get for that shelf presence and the playability there, I think is pretty good. So if you are a DC Multiverse fan, if you are somebody who likes the Joker or Batman in any fashion, I think this is a figure worth picking up. I think you're going to enjoy him. So with that, that's going to wrap up the review. Thanks so much for tuning in. Apologies for not having the highest quality on this video. We are on holiday, but I want to keep trying to bring content to you guys. So with that, that's going to wrap the review up. I hope you guys got some good information out of this. I hope you were entertained, and if you haven't already done so, be sure to hit the like button, be sure to subscribe, and feel free to leave some comments if you want to. So until we see you guys in the next one, take care.